Hi guys, in this video we are going to talk about sole proprietorship. Right? It is the second video about business organization. So we are going to talk about sole proprietorship. In other name is sole trade. Sole trade. We are going to talk about sole trade. Right? If you can understand these two pictures, you can clearly understand what is sole trade or what is sole proprietorship. Look at the first picture. Only one person is working, right? That means only one owner, right? Only one owner, single owner, sole, right? Single owner. The single owner is saying, I am the only one owner. Obviously, I am the only one owner and it is my business. I am the only one owner, it is my business. By the way of saying, I am the only one owner and it is my business is indirectly saying, I am the only one invested in this business. I am the only one sharing profit of the business. I am the only one getting the profit. I am not sharing with others. I am the only one facing losses also. Right? No one else. I am the only one taking profit. I am the only one facing losses. I am the only one controlling the business. Right? I am the only one taking decisions. Right? I am the only one doing everything. Right? No one else. So that is the brief description about sole proprietorship. Right? In second slide, there is a question. What is sole trade? What is sole trade? What is sole proprietorship? Right? If the examiner is asking you to define what is sole trade, then look the marks. See the marks. How many marks is given for that? If your examiner is giving only one mark, just say the definition of sole proprietorship. What is the definition? Business owned by an individual. An individual. Only one person is on the business. Right? Only one person. A business owned by an individual are known as sole proprietorship. That is the definition given in your study pack. Right? If your examiner is asking you to define what is sole trade, it is only for one mark. Just mention the definition. Then your examiner is giving 4 marks or 3 marks. Right? Is expecting something more than definition. So you have to state the qualities of business organization. Qualities of sole trade. Right? We have to state qualities of sole trade. These are the 6 qualities. 6 attributes given for sole trade in your study pack. Right? Capital is raised by a single person who is the owner. Very straightforward. Right? Only one person invests on the organization. Profit or losses are to be borne alone. Very straightforward. Right? Since he is the only one owner, he will enjoy the profit, entire profit. Since he is the only one owner, he should face the entire loss. Very straightforward. Then look at third one. Unlimited liability of the owner. Unlimited liability. Right? It's a new term to us, right? Unlimited liability. So, sole trade has unlimited liability. Right? We have to see what is unlimited liability first. Before moving to unlimited liability, we should know what is limited liability. What is limited liability? When the owners, investors or shareholders, right? Whoever. Owners, investors, shareholder. Right? Liability is limited to the capital that had been invested. That is known as limited liability. Very simple, right? Limited liability. You are starting an organization, right? To start an organization, you have to invest. Right? Your investment is technically known as stated capital. Whatever you bring to the business, whatever you give to the business, that is known as stated capital. Right? So your liability, your responsibility is limited to the investment. It is limited to the stated capital. Assume that you are investing 10,000. That is your capital. Right? Company has to pay 15,000 to outsiders. The entity has to pay 15,000 to third party. Right? Now the business is going to shut down. You are going to close the business because of losses. The business is making so many losses. So you are going to close the business. At the time of closing the business has to pay. This business has to pay 15,000. But you have only invested 10,000. Right? When your liability is limited to stated capital, you don't have to pay the residual 5,000. Right? The residual 5,000 you don't have to pay from your own money, from your own resources. You don't have to pay 5,000. When your liability is limited to stated capital, you have to sacrifice the stated capital. Right? You don't have to pay the 5,000 additional. Additionally 5,000 you don't have to pay. But think, your liability is unlimited. That means your liability is not limited to the capital invested. Same scenario, right? Same scenario. There's a business that is sole trade. Sole trade. Ramu and Store. Business name is Ramu and Store. So Ramu is the owner. Ramu invest initially 10,000 to the business. That is Ramu's investment. Business is continuously making loss. And business has to pay 15,000 liability to outsiders. Right? Bank loan 15,000 business has to pay. Assume like that bank loan. So the Ramu is going to close the business. Ramu is facing so many losses from this business. As a result, Ramu is going to close the business. By the time of closing, right, Ramu has to sacrifice the 10,000. Ramu has to sacrifice is 10,000, is stated capital. Right? After setting off the stated capital, additional liability is 5,000. So who has to pay this 5,000? Ramu has to pay the 5,000 from his own money, from his pocket. Ramu has to pay. In other words, Ramu has to sell his property to pay the balance 5,000. Right? Think like that. A simple way. Right? So if your capital is limited to the liability, that is known as limited liability. If your capital, the investment is not limited to the liability of the organization, company, organization, that is known as unlimited. So sole proprietorships are unlimited. Right? Sole proprietors, owners, liability is not limited. Right? So sole proprietorship has unlimited liability. That's a disadvantage. Right? If the sole trade is making continuous loss and becoming liable to pay more than the investment, the owner should pay the additional amount by his own pocket. There's a disadvantage, no? Okay. So fourth one is no legal personality. Sole trade has no legal personality. It doesn't have legal personality, right? What is legal personality? We'll discuss. Yeah. In front of court, there are two types of people. In front of court, right? There are two types of people. First type of people is natural person. Second, legal person. Who is natural person? Humans are natural person. I can buy property and you can buy property in your own name. I can buy properties in my own name, right? I can enter into agreement in my own name. If I do any mistake, court will find I am guilty in my personal capacity. If you are doing any mistake, court will find you guilty in your personal capacity, right? We are natural person. We can do whatever in our own name. If we are doing something wrong, we should stand in front of court, right? Natural person. Second type of persons are legal person. Yeah, other than humans also, there are people, there are persons, right? That is known as entities or organizations. Court consider organizations. Court consider organizations also as a person, right? See, court consider organizations also as a person, right? What kind of organizations? Yeah, there are two kinds of organization in Sri Lanka. Two kind of organizations in Sri Lanka is considered as a legal person. First, if you register any organizations under 2007 Companies Act, right? 2007 Companies Act. If register any organization under 2007 Companies Act, it will become incorporated company. So, incorporated company is a legal person. Incorporated companies can sell properties, buy properties, do any agreements in the name of the company's name, right? Company can do whatever company wants in the company's name. If company do any wrong, company's representative, right, will stand in front of court, not in their own name. They will stand in front of court on behalf of company in company's name, right? They will stand because companies can't stand, no, it's organization, no. So representative will stand in front of court, right? So second types of organizations are organizations created by Parliament of Sri Lanka, right? If any organizations are created by Parliament of Sri Lanka, that is also known as legal person. So other than these two, all other organizations are not legal person, right? So think about sole trade. It's an organization. It's not a legal person, right? Think about partnership. Partnership is an organization. It's not a legal person, right? So sole trade is not a legal person. In addition to that, sole trade is not a natural person also, right? So sole trade has no legal personality. Since sole trade is not a legal person, it doesn't have legal personality, right? If sole trade does any wrong, right? If sole trade does any wrong, who should stand in front of court, in front of law? If sole trade does something wrong, who should go for that, right? Owners. Owners are natural person, right? Owners should stand in front of law in their own name, not sole trade name. Here, companies are doing wrong, right? Representative will stand, directors will stand in front of court, in front of law, but they will stand in the name of company because company has a legal personality. Legal person is a person in front of law, right? But sole trade is not a person at all. It's not person. Court says that, law says that we don't recognize sole trade. We recognize the natural person, the owner, who is behind the sole trade, who created the sole trade, who is running the sole trade, who is controlling the sole trade, is the one we recognize. So, sole trade, if sole trade does any wrong, the owner should come to the court, right? So sole trade is not a legal person, right? So sole trade doesn't have legal personality. If the sole trade doesn't have legal personality, it cannot enter into agreement in its own name. Ramu and Store is a sole trade, right? Ramu and Store is a sole trade. It doesn't have legal personality, right? Since Ramu and Store doesn't have legal personality, it cannot enter into agreement in the name of Ramu and Store, right? So all the agreement what Ramu and Store intending to enter into, right? Those agreement need to be signed by Ramu, right? If Ramu and Store intends to do an agreement, the agreement need to be signed by Ramu, not Ramu and Store. In the name of Ramu, right? Not Ramu and Store. In the name of Ramu, the agreement need to be signed. So sole trade should carry out its business in the name of owner, not in the name of sole trade. Ramu and Store is a sole trade. It should carry out its business in the name of Ramu. So if Ramu and Store buys any properties, it should buy in the name of Ramu. If the Ramu and Store buy any inventories, that should be bought in the name of Ramu. If Ramu and Store sells any property, that sale agreement should be in the name of Ramu. So that is known as legal personality, right? So Ramu and Store, sole trade doesn't have legal personality, no continued existence. Court says that you are not a person, sole trade. Court says to sole trade, right? You are not a person. We don't recognize you. So your existence is your owner's existence, right? Ramu's existence is the Ramu and Store's existence, right? Because Ramu and Store is not a person, right? It's not a legal person. Ramu existence is Ramu and Store's existence. So if Ramu dies, court says Ramu and Store also dies with Ramu. No more. If Ramu dies, no more Ramu and Store, right? That is known as continued existence. So sole trade doesn't have continued existence. It depends on its owner. Because all the agreements are signed in the name of owner, right? If Ramu died, who is liable for those agreements? Ramu and Store? No, it's not liable. The company's agreements are signed by representatives, but in the company name, because company is a legal person. If representatives dies, if representative die, who is liable for those agreements? Representative? No, the company is liable. So future representative has to fulfill those obligations in the name of company. Company is a legal person. Whoever representative, it doesn't matter. Company is a separate person in front of court. But Ramu and Store is not a separate person. It depends on Ramu. If Ramu dies, can't help. Ramu and Store doesn't exist, right? Not mandatory to register, right? In general, sometime you have to register sole trade under sole trade ordinance, right? There are some sole trade ordinance, I think 2 ordinance. You have to register sole trade under those ordinance. There are some act for sole trade, right? But generally you are not mandated to register. It's not mandatory to register a sole trade, right? So we have to focus on advantage of creating a sole proprietorship and disadvantage of a sole proprietorship. Convenient to start, because why? It is not a legal person, right? It's not a legal person. If it's a legal person, there are so much procedure. You are governed by law. If you are a legal person, the legal person is given birth by law. There are so many procedures. Company has so many procedures, so many things company has to follow, because the company is a child of law, right? As a natural person, we are child of our mothers. Company is a person given birth by law. So company is a child of law. It has to follow lots of laws and regulation. But sole trade is not a legal person. So very convenient to start. You can easily start a sole trade. All profit belong to the owner. Yeah, we know that. Profit is 100% goes to owner. If it's a partnership, you have to share your profit. Right? Sole trade doesn't want to share its profit. Sole trader, owner, can enjoy the profit by himself. No need to share. Privacy of the business information is secured. Yeah, privacy, security of information. Think about partnership. There will be 5 or 6 partners. The company's information, all in and outs of the company, company's strategies, company's plan will be shared among all partners. Right? Here, only one owner. So informations are secured. Right? It's very safe. No one will tell the company secret to competitors. Sorry, no one will tell, not company, sole trade. No one will tell the sole trade secret to outsiders. Right? Because only one owner. Ability to use own skills at best. If it is a partnership, all partners need to put their effort. Right? So they will put comparatively. They will divide the works and do. Here, not like that. You have to work dedicatedly. Right? You have to be a dedicated person. Right? So ability to use your own skill at best. So you will use your every skill, all skill. Right? Independent decision making. Yeah, if it is a partnership, all partners need to get together and they will communicate, they will sometimes argue to take decision. Right? Decision taking in a partnership is a bit difficult when compared to sole trade. All partners need to agree. But he not like that. Only one owner. He can do whatever he wants. Right? Independent decision making. He doesn't want to discuss with others. He can take their own decision. Only one owner. So disadvantage of sole proprietorship. Unlimited liability. We know the capital invested is not limited to the liability of the organization, right? If the organization has more liability than the capital invested, the owner need to sell the property to pay the liability, or owner need to bring his own money from his own capital, own money from his own pocket, other than capital, to pay the liability. Difficulties in raising capital. Yeah, if it is a partnership, all partners will contribute. Right? Since it is a sole trade, only one person need to contribute. Only one person. No other people to contribute. Right? Only one person should bring the capital. Difficulties in raising capital. Right? No others to contribute. No others to help. Right? Difficulties in raising capital. No legal personality. Yeah, no legal personality. But it's disadvantage. One advantage is convenient to start. Right? Because of no legal status, convenient to start. That's okay. But there are some disadvantages also. What is that? Yeah. Your existence, the organization existence depends on owner's existence. That is one disadvantage because of legal personality. No legal personality. If owner die, organization die. That is the legal personality. Because of no legal personality, that will happen. In addition to that, what will happen? The owner is personally liable in front of law. If sole trade is doing any wrong, right? Assume a sole trade, a big sole trade, as a 3 employees. If those 3 employees are doing some frauds with customers, right? At that time, who is liable? The owner is the person liable, right? Owner is the person has to prove in front of law by his name. He is not guilty. The employee has done something wrong. He has to prove to the court. Otherwise, owner is liable because customers are coming to the organization. Ramu and Store. Assume Ramu and Store is a jewelry shop. Ramu jewelry shop. Assume, right? Customer is coming to jewelry shop and paying some amount of money to buy jewelry. One employee steal all the money and he went, right? So customer will sue the Ramu and Store, not Ramu and Store. Customer will sue the Ramu because court will call Ramu in his personal name, right? Not in the name of Ramu and Store. Is the personally liable. So legal personality. Assume Ramu and Store is a company. Ramu Jewelers company. If Ramu Jewelers company, if that happen, company representative. Assume Ramu is a director of the company. So Ramu has to go in the name of Ramu and Store, not in the name of Ramu, right? No legal personality. Individual decision of the owner can be unsuccessful, right? If it is a partnership, if one partner is doing wrong, other partners will rectify the mistake. If one partner is taking a wrong decision, other partners will correct it. Since it is a sole trade, if an individual is doing wrong, there are no other people to correct it, right? Only one owner. If he takes a wrong decision, that's the end, right? That's all about sole trade. In my next video, I will discuss about the partnership in detail. Thank you.